I think that is the reason why in Christianity there are so many cults, and these cults are extremely dangerous because, like, if you are like growing up in community which does not allow you to use any kind of spiritual gifts, everything is of devil. If you're raised within a community that's repressing sexuality, which is usually happening in very kind of like radical Christian cults, if you're coming, from a place where you're not allowed to think for yourself and there's rules and you have to follow them, you become extremely dangerous to society. Like, and this is not spirituality as well. This is an ego thing.
It's pure control and
Yeah.
manipulation. You
Yeah.
know,
And I've seen people saying, I want to save you. I was like, wait.
the recent comment I got on my YouTube, I don't want you to go to hell. I want to save you the same way Jesus saved me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, how can you assume that I might have been already saved? How do you know that I'm not saved by my enlightenment and my realization? Like, it's bold for you to assume that I need saving,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
it's very egotistic to assume
Yeah,
you have the recipe for salvation as well.
exactly. Yeah,
And save
yeah.
from what?
Yeah,
I-
saved from what? Like, am I not happy that I need saving? It's like I'm actually curious. What was your first exposure with a so-called Abrahamic
Cult.
religion cult, let's say, or any
Yeah.
cult really? Because it can be anything. Can be pagan. I was exposed to a pagan cult, which I'm gonna talk about later. But yeah, I'm curious to see about your experience. Like, what kind of things did
Well,
you experience?
I was raised Catholic, so my mom used to take me to church and
Mhm.
everything. So I was, in a way, deeply traumatized from the young ages because, like my mom wouldn't like talk to me about things. But then, I was very much into reading, so I like to read a lot, and there was like not too many books that I could read. And I remember we went to the church, and my mom was obsessed with this kind of Capuchin order. I don't know. They were in my hometown, and she would bring me to talk with this priest. And like, I can't say he was a bad guy, but he told me like, "Oh, I have something, for you," and it was like a little white book, specially made for kids.
Oh,
Yeah, and
okay.
I burned it at some point, but because it really deeply traumatized me. Um,
Wow.
it had a lot of things in it, but there was the whole section about sexuality and masturbation as well. And it was like awful. It was like, if you do
Really?
this, you're going to hell.
Wow. Okay, so it was an extreme
It was
book.
extra, and like I was like, wow, yeah, I'm going to hell. I was like certain, okay, yeah, I'm being whatever if I have any kind of thoughts that are not aligned with this book, then I'm being punished by the gods. And I had this awful, like this really traumatized me because I was thinking that I'm getting bad grades in the school because the god is actually punishing me.
This is
And this all
yeah.
came because of one little book. And I
Imagine
don't think
imagine
this
like,
was suitable for kids. I was 6, 7 years old.
okay, yeah, being 6, 7 years old, children have no business talking about sexuality
No,
until the hormones start. Whatever, then
especially not
obviously
telling them that
no,
this is sin.
no. And imagine basing your like whole thoughts and life on a little book.
Yeah,
How like limiting, must
I
that
was a
be?
very serious kid. So
Mhm.
when I took something, I took it very seriously. I'm still like that. I was like, okay, there are rules here of what I need to do because I was
Mhm.
always very spiritual. And I was like, okay, I need to pray before lunch. I need to pray before bed. Oh, I did everything that the book prescribed. And I just felt awful all the time. And that was, let's say, my first experience of like being part of, let's say, this is like a very Catholic upbringing. And then there was another one with the Baptist church. And luckily, I wasn't like an easy target, because I was very hot headed even then. I think I was like at the beginning of high school, and my friend, her whole family was into this Baptist church, and she invited me over for like a summer holiday, and the thing was very cheap. So my parents were like, okay, yeah, it's a church thing, it's okay. So we were there in the tents, and I remember up to like today, we had to draw a symbol that would represent us on the first day of the that retreat, and I draw a yin yang. And little did I know that this will really upset the guy, right?
Aquarius. That's Aquarius for you guys. Super rebellious.
And he was like, "What is this? Like, why do you think this is a good representation of you?" And I was like, "Well, in everything, it is like nothing is perfect. Like in
Hmm.
everything good, there's a little bit of evil, and everything evil, there's a little bit of good." That was
Yeah.
my understanding of that
Yeah.
at that point. And he was like, "No, this symbol is like bad because there is no such thing. God is the ultimate good, and there's no evil in him." And he was like, "Okay, I will accept this, but like you're gonna be here for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna make you change your mind."
Oh.
And I was like, "Okay, sure. So if you make me change my mind, I
Mhm.
will correct it." And there was a couple of incidents on that retreat as well. So like I was around, let's say, 13 years old, and my dad packed me, one of those rubber dinghies, so I would just like chill on that on the ocean. And the guy called me in, and he told me I'm showing my butt to everyone on the beach.
Seriously.
I was like, I was like in a normal swimming suit, like it's not my fault that I look the way I look.
Oh, you're at the beach. I mean,
Yes. So that was another problem that I had with him. But then on the last day, they did some kind of ritual. And I'm saying like this was a ritual. So they started with this. I don't remember it really good, but it started to be really creepy. And during the ritual, it was like if you felt cold, then you have to like go downstairs and sign that you're joining the Baptist church. And there was something really weird with this thing because we all started to feel unwell at some point. We started to feel like guilty because of our sins, and it was something creepy. And even at one point I felt like I want to go and sign, but I was like, no, 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 like I don't want to have anything to do with this. But like I would say like 60% of the people that were sitting there while they were like chanting this stuff went downstairs and signed. It was so creepy.
so like you see, this is exactly what most cults do. They make you sign something off
Yeah, yeah,
under
yeah.
the guise of you're joining this group. But what I wanted to ask is, was there certain words being used or certain symbols that you remember seeing, whether on the floor or
I actually don't
with?
remember. I To be honest with you, I have this like mist surrounding this thing. It's almost like I have blurred memory.
They were probably using mantra
Yeah,
chants to
yeah,
hypnotize people
yeah,
to then
yeah,
sign the paper.
yeah, yeah.
It's very wow.
I
It's
was.
very messed
Uh,
up.
it was very messy. It
Mhm.
was. It was probably at that point like the strongest kind of spiritual experience I had because it was very confusing as well. But I didn't sign anything. I left the retreat. I didn't change the symbol either.
Mhm.
So they didn't manage to break me. But it's still weird when I think about it. And they would do this every year.
And what? So you basically had to put your name down on paper, and obviously
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you
yeah.
become part of them. And then was there like a way to annul this contract?
I'm not
Because
sure actually.
yeah,
I
because
don't
like
know.
it's so dangerous once you put
Hmm.
on. We talked about it. You sign a contract spiritually, and then
And then you're met on your
yeah, exactly.
yeah.